Okay, you guys, we're gonna give you a couple of tips and tricks on how to create your landscape here. So the first thing is I just opened up a new document, no biggie. So what we're gonna do now is click and create our background. So I'm just gonna take a big rectangle tool, make a big rectangle across my whole space. Now I don't want my sky, my background to be green. I actually want a linear gradient. So what I'm gonna do is when I have this selected, if my shape is selected, I can come over here to color and I can click linear gradient. From there, it automatically changes it to black and white every single time. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here where you have the gradient and a little line will show up. So no matter what shape you're doing, how big or small it is, you'll have this line, and this line tells you the colors that you have. So there's a white circle up here and a black circle up here, down here, because that's the colors that are chosen. So I'm going to click here, and I want my color to be more of like an orangey color. And then I'm going to click on the bottom where the black circle is, and then I want it to be a yellowy color. So I have my sort of sunsetty type thing here. And that's what I want. If you wanted to change it, you can always change it. But one thing I did notice is that whatever color you choose to blend into each other, it really does affect both colors. So you just have to be aware of that. And when I'm done, I just click on the color again, and here we go. I'm going to go over to my layers over here, and I'm going to label that. So I double clicked it, and I'm going to put sky. All right, and I'm also going to lock it. So there's this little lock button next to it, and that way I can't grab it, I can't mess with it or anything like that. All right, so I'm going to show you how to make some mountains and hills. We're going to start with the mountains first because I want them the furthest back. So that's another thing, and you can always move to back, which is fine, but just so that you are aware. So I think starting with a rectangle is pretty easy. So I'm going to make a rectangle. I'm going to change its color. I want it to be like a bluish gray color. And then I'm going to double click my rectangle. Oh no, is it going to do this again? Okay, so this is what happened to me last time. It was very frustrating. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm actually going to get out of this document. For whatever reason, it is acting funny. So I'm going to get out of this document, go back to my main page. All right, and I'm actually going to hop back into what I just closed. I don't know why it does this. This worked for me last time, so fingers crossed it works this time. So I'm gonna double click it now, and here we go. See how when I double clicked it, I got these little like vector path points. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna delete one. So I'm gonna click on one, I'm gonna delete it, and then I'm gonna click on the other one, and I'm gonna move it to the middle here. I like doing it this way because then it's still a closed shape and I didn't have to like mess around with it too much. If you wanted to, you could totally, like if I wanted to make it more jaggedy, if I go on the edge of it, I can click and that adds a point to it. And I can come in here and move that point. I can even make another point here and make my mountains a little less perfect, right? And so then there's one. Let's say I move it over to the side here. And then I can make some other ones. So I'm going to quickly just make another one. One thing is when you do this and you get different colors, I always go back to the color that I had, double click, or click one, sorry. And this will give you the hex number. That's what this is called. So if I copy, Control C, the hex number, and I click on this, go back to my colors, Control D, press enter, then it'll get me the same color. So just a little tip for you. So I'm double click and thankfully that worked. I don't have to go back in or out again. And I'm going to make this sort of a skinnier one. I'm going to add different point here and bring it out. So just sort of, making different mountain shapes. If I wanted to, actually, I should make this a little bit, just a touch darker if I wanted to. So that you're able to see the different mountains. I'm going to make one more just because aesthetically I want one more. All right, so I'm going to move this. This one's going to be a little bit of a taller one. And you can always move things down too. You don't always have to go up like I've sort of been doing. It's nice to have them go in and out because although that's a crazy mountain, Mountains aren't always perfect, right? Okay, then I actually want it to go back to the color I had before. Oh wait, this one. Okay, so I gotta copy that hex color again. Oh, maybe it is the color. It doesn't look like it though, does it? I don't know. All right, and I want this to go behind. So I'm going to put it here and just send it, sends it to the back. Perfect. So I'm going to move it over, and this is where I can sort of get it lined up and do that. All right, the next thing I want to do is maybe create some hills that are going to come in the front here. I'm going to Control CV this. Just sort of have some hills that come in the front. I'm going to select both of these because I want them to be the same color. So I'm going to press select, I'm going to click on it, press shift, select this guy, come here, and keep the hill colors. All right, so this is how you can start to layer and go on top. You can come in here, and if I wanted to add, let's see what this color is. If I wanted to add different areas where, you know, maybe it's a little bit darker on this side here, and it really can get different paths here. I don't want it outlined though, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say that the border is not here. I forgot to click that. And I actually want it to be a different color. I want it to be the same as this color. So adding in those different flecks there will really help, you know, define your pieces a little bit more. Ooh. And again, having to come and select it, say, no, I don't want that. Yes, I want this color. I'm doing that. So going back and forth. So taking your time, really adding those different areas in right here really make a big difference. But this is how you're going to do that. If I wanted maybe a sun in the background, let's say I wanted a big sun in the background, I can say move to back. Right. Send to back, send to back, send. There we go. Oh, send it back some more. There we go. And then what I would do is I would say I want a radial gradient, right? Oh, I can't see it. There, move it over. And you can move your gradient like that too. So if I wanted it to be more of like an orange in the middle, and really, oops, I didn't click down here to change it to my red. So here is the start of it, but this is how you can really get, you know, all these different things. Remember to use your shapes and really come in here and manipulate them. And like if you wanted to, oh, it's doing it again. I was going to change my, I was going to make a shape, but it's not. Say I double click and it's not letting me. So when that happens, if that happens, remember just go out, come back in. But I would definitely like, I have not here. What's going on here? I have not come and let's see, lips here is that, isn't it? Busy lips. So I'm going to label this sun. So make sure you come in and like I know this is hill because it's any lips. I know this is hill because it's any lips. You know, these paths are shadows. This is a mountain. So really make sure, I would definitely come in here and make sure that you're labeling just to be sure. But this is what you would do for your piece. And all these little dark and light areas are all with, I would use the pen tool personally and really add those little areas. And unless you're doing like if you wanted a circle shadow, I would come in and delete some points off the circle, those kinds of things. But that's what you would do to start off your, to start your landscape here.